What's up, guys? Today, look, we're playing back to Amber. I told y'all. Day two. Oh my god, her level 8. I'm doing a mega quest. So, and I'm sure these need no introduction, but just in case, we're gonna start talking about some popular. These are real people, real people. The more obscure and fun get. So, with that being said, let's get off this boat and dive right into it. I want Mr. P to come after me. Players noticed a Ferris wheel in the background of a new loading screen. There were many speculations that Brawl Stars took place in a theme park. A popular one was Brawltopia, one location that had all the game modes of the time, which were each different areas of the park. In late 2020, these theories were into the corner. Ever since this moment, they have reconfirmed this time and time again. There are countless references to this. And it also serves as the basis in basically all of TNT and indestructible blocks. These were blocks originally used in the alpha and beta stages of the game. TNT was used for heists, but once they got removed, they remained the game files, and only the TNT was used in the total freedom. When Mapmaker came out years later, TNT and indestructible blocks were one of those items you could not replace. But that did not stop players. So when the thing hits 100 with these indestructible blocks. This was the case between 2020 and early 2021, but it was eventually passed. Indestructible blocks 120 in 2023, but not for Mapmaker. Star Park. This is a massive part of the game. 120 and I'm good till I get prestige ring. But to give you the gist, based on the lore, Star Park was a regular old theme park open throughout the century with humble beginnings. However, at some point, the park's staff uncovered these radioactive purple gems deep in the mines, which ended up mutating its visitors and staff into these mutated brawlers. This led to the park's collapse, which happened in 1955, and all of this was captured by security footage. The Star Corporation
how's your ear doing?
Pretty good.
A little better.
Which is where
come on.
OG Brawl boxes. This is basically referring to the first Brawl boxes in the game, and their designs, which include the box, later renamed to Free Box, the Big Box, and the Mega Box. Before the Brawl Pass existed, these were essentially the main way to progress in the game. I assume this is an entry in many groups, simply because of the fact that they looked so different from their earlier designs, which have since been removed, except for the developer build. The developer build is simply a version of the game developers and content creators use to test new features and show them off their experience. It's nothing crazy, but over the years, many people have claimed that they have the developer build, and you can download it right here. Of course, they were not developer builds. Most of the time, they were just modified APKs or
They're not doing
viruses. The only way to officially get it is to be part of brawlers in environments. This is referring to some brawlers appearing in some maps when playing. But when you play the brawler, they're gone. What a nice Easter egg. Made up music. This is referring to the old men music used years ago. Yeah, that's it. Just a nostalgic piece of history. Soci_Jovi. This is a pretty odd name that a lot of accounts were found. I don't have real numbers, but I'd say hundreds, if not thousands, with this insane name. This was a mystery for a good bit, but it turned out this was another case of free legendary code trolls. This was when someone, most of the time it was quite big YouTubers, will tell their audience to input a code into their name change request. And apparently, once you set the name, you got a free legendary in the next chest. Unfortunately for all those accounts, it did not work, and they were stuck with this name, which roughly translates in Russian to my son. To this day, there are still many Soci_Jovis out there. The same exact thing happened with the names Tomar753 and Cheater777. These trolls were very popular in 2020. Brawler trios. When the game first came out in 2017, some players started noticing that some brawlers looked like they were somehow related to each other. Not necessarily family, but they had some like their themes or something. And it turns out they weren't crazy because developers eventually confirmed that brawlers existed, which is how they categorized the brawlers. So there's the Ranger Ranch, Arcade. I'm not sure if these are official names, but there's a lot. And all of these trios also belong to another trio, which categorizes them into different areas of Star Portrait mode. This is a for Brawl Stars was played in a portrait orientation like Clash Royale. It was certainly a weird time for the game, and honestly, I remember this setup was rather awkward to play, but that's all players knew at the time. So in early 2018, when Supercell was on the game, they decided to overhaul the game one more time, and with it was a change to the orientation, Power Play. There is nothing odd about this mode. It's simply one of those things that is Power Play was a competitive mode added in October 2019. It was pretty much your standard ranked mode with its own point system, and had strict requirements, like brawlers had to be 40 max with star powers, and you could only play 3 matches a day. In March of 2021, less than 2 years later, Power Play was replaced by Power League, and in February 2024, League was replaced by Ranked. WKB Heroes. As the name suggests, this was a live stream, but interestingly, it was discovered by players after noticing a Morse code in a new app that spelled out WKB Hero. It went live in May 2020.
Okay, so
What during the time it was live? The live stream typically had
okay, so let me see my battle. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
well-known events.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So one more battle. One more battle. Until I have 100 trophies with her. So
There's obviously a lot more to it, but most of you can remember this. Banned countries. Brawl Stars is banned in several countries for different reasons. For example, in March of 2022, it was blocked in Russia and Belarus in response to the war in Ukraine. It was also banned in Cuba, Iran, Syria, and mostly due to economic sanctions and global laws. Miko Apocalypse. This refers to December 2023, when Miko, a mythic brawler, was given out for free to everyone. It magically being flooded with Mikos, and it was pretty chaotic due to its annoying mechanics. And yeah, that's how I got its name, Miko Apocalypse, because it was annoying. Or at least that's what they said. This has happened several times throughout Brawl Stars history. Like another entry in the Esper was the Edgar Apocalypse. That one I in 2020 where the
Dang it.
exact same thing happened. Thumbs down. I'm not really sure why this ended
So
up
I
as
won
first, but,
trophy.
I gotta talk about it, I guess. This is basically
2 more matches. 2 more matches, y'all.
it's like the Clash Royale in a sense, but this one is kind of like saying that you're trash at the game. 456 gold. So in 2020, Brawl Stars ended up sponsoring a mystery video. It was the Squid Game Feature Live. So you can see a big logo in one of the games. And at the end of the sponsor segment, he says anyone who downloads it will get a special prize. Obviously, he was probably talking but the special prize was incredibly underwhelming. It was 456 gold. Rarity changes. This to the many brawlers that have had their rarities changed. For example, Bo used to be an epic, then super rare, then common, and eventually died to an epic. And basically the same thing has happened to Rico, Tick, and a couple of dramatic. This was a special rarity season pass, basically like the season pass of Brawler that you could unlock. So you had Pearl, Blue, Ruffs, Surge, and many others. However, in December 2023, during the Chroma No More update, they removed this rarity, and all costume. Mr. P has a zipper behind him, and both of them happen to be the same size and also have similar voices. Other than those similarities, though, I don't think there's anything. And Jesse are. This is another one of those entries that would have been crazy to think about years ago, but today I think everyone and their mom knows. Anne and Jesse belong to the Junker family, and Annie is also part of that family, which was built by old. It is a sandbox area used to test out brewers and new skills people have. There's nothing odd about it. The fact that it used to look like an actual cave at one point. Hence the name Trading Cave. In 2020, though, they changed to a Star Park environment that looks more like a park. Grom's fear of. There are many official lore pieces that they do discuss and many that we don't. Grom's background is definitely one of the most odd